In this video, I'll be using AVAX as an example to show you how I decide which positions to cut and which positions to hold. Essentially, I'll be showing you the Mango's risk-first approach to portfolio and trade management. So stay tuned.
Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. I have the beautiful, the gorgeous, the radio voice herself, Krisha. Krisha, say hi.
And what's up, you guys? Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday indeed. Oh, and I do want to give a massive birthday shout out to Shanks, the developer, one of the developers of this beautiful dashboard right over here. So happy birthday, Shanks. Hope you're having a great birthday weekend, a birthday week, in fact. Ooh, all the great people are born in September, Krisha.
A whole lot of Virgos out here.
Ollie, Shanks, and the guy named Sean Dexter, all of the great guys. Anyways, so just a quick heads up, guys. This is going to be a different video. In fact, Krisha wasn't supposed to be on this video. It was supposed to be just me and you guys having some alone time, but Krisha decided to butt in. I'm like, hey, why not, Krisha? Go ahead, have a seat, and you can play spectator in this conversation.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so Krisha has no idea what this video is going to be about, actually, but I'm going to give you guys a brief kind of introduction as to what we're going to be talking about today. This video especially is going to answer a lot of questions that a lot of you who are really interested in trading and are going through your journey. This video is going to target a lot of those questions. Now, I'm talking to maybe even Claudia, right? Claudia, especially in the C program, she mentioned that she's been struggling to bring all these ideas together,
right,
and actually execute on them. So hopefully, Claudia, this educational video is going to help you. This is going to be a video centered around Avalanche, but it's not going to be a video where we're going to be discussing TA in particular, right? I'm not going to be giving you guys too many levels or targets, etc., etc. But Krisha, just like how Solana wasn't getting much attention when we were initially interested in it, around the $12 mark, key level, $44 mark, another key level, and then $75, right? No one really cared about the video. It was one of our least performing videos at the time, and then Solana blew up and everyone cared suddenly, right? So I think Avalanche may be in that position at the moment. We don't know. You'll find out. And that's precisely what this video is about, right? Not really knowing which coin is going to be the winner, but the chart is giving you the clues all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so a little context for all of you. I've been getting into a few altcoins recently, and I'd picked between two altcoins, I had initially picked two altcoins, Avalanche, Krisha, and Algorand. Okay, you're aware of that. But I also had a criteria. Okay, so let's start with the dashboard over here. As you guys can see right over here, Avalanche is showing on the dashboard, right? 50% returns since the dashboard gave the call around 7 days ago. I was actually eyeing a little bit prior to that, but getting that confirmation from the dashboard really helped. But more importantly, we also have the bullish Ichimoku setup call right over here, and this is one of the new features from our developers of the dashboard right over here. Shout out to Mox on this one. And yeah, so I like that confluence. You guys know that this is one of my, like, the Ichimoku is one of my favorite indicators. It's so Mango, right? So combined with the dashboard and combining with what we're seeing on the charts with the dynamic as well, all the confluence coming together, I really like the Avalanche as a trade. And Algorand was in a similar position, okay? But now I was getting into these altcoins when Bitcoin was sitting in a different position, okay? So we'll go on over to the Avalanche chart in a bit, but I want to show the Bitcoin chart, right? And I was getting into Avalanche and Algorand somewhere around where Bitcoin was around here, right? And I had a thesis or rather a rule, and I'd mentioned this in the C chat. Okay, I told all of you guys in C chat I said, if Bitcoin takes back the daily dynamic, I am going to be de-risking from alts. okay, I'm going to be essentially cutting my altcoin positions by half. Okay, so my exposure to altcoins, I wanted to go essentially in half, and one of the reasons for that was because even Bitcoin dominance was sitting at a key support level. We showed that chart too on the C chart, Krisha. If you do remember, I highlighted how key of a level that is. I don't, now again, I'm not saying that that level can't break, okay, but I just don't want that exposure against, well, support, right? There's no reason to when I have a massive Bitcoin trend rate going on. So I said, hey, if Bitcoin retakes the dynamic, I'm going to start de-risking from alts. So I had to decide. Okay, I was in an Avalanche trade. I was in an Algorand trade. I'm like, okay, how do I just cut my positions now? I can either just go across the board and cut all my positions by half, or I can do what a smart, experienced trend trader will do and essentially cut weakness and keep strength. Right? A lot of new traders do the complete opposite, Krisha. Okay, what they're going to do instead is they will essentially try to wait for their winners, or rather their losers, to come back in profit, right? And then they will go ahead and cut their winners because they're like, hey, at least this trade is doing this. I'm not in a loss in this trade, so I'm going to get rid of this trade. So going back to the Avalanche chart, okay, I'm going to look at the AVA BTC chart, AVAX BTC chart. You guys can see what a beautiful structure right over here. I can go ahead and turn on the dynamic for you guys. You guys can see we retested the dynamic perfectly over here as well. And we can go ahead and plot some key horizontals right over here. You can do that. Broke above it, Krisha, like accumulated underneath the dynamic zone over here, broke above on one big candle, right? Closed two candles, retested the level, retested the dynamic, and we're seeing a continuation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a sign of strength for me. In fact, if you go ahead and plot a horizontal right over there as well, you can see that the next candle took this level over here too, right? So we're seeing all this trend on AVA BTC. Okay, AVA USDT is looking freaking fantastic as well. Look at that, right? You guys can call this, I don't know, cup and handle, call it whatever you want. I'm not a pattern expert. Krisha can shed some thoughts on that in a different video. But right over here, we're seeing that even the AVA USDT chart is showing a lot of strength, right? In fact, Krisha, sitting around the same levels when we started being interested in AVA that Solana was, right? The $30, $40 region, and now the $70 region. It's like so reminiscent. But AVA USD looking good, AVA BTC looking good. But now let's go on over to Algo. Okay, we'll start with Algo USD first to show the strength, and then we'll move on over to why I decided to in fact cut Algo and keep AVA. Okay, because that's a more nuanced question. Okay, now Algo USD is looking freaking great. Okay, and you're looking at this and you're like, damn, how do I decide? What do I do? Should I keep this position or not? Should I keep both? Should I just break my rules and keep both, right? That's essentially what you're going to be doing. If you had a rule saying, I'm going to cut exposure by 50%, you got to follow that rule, period. Maybe you can decide to change your, I don't say change your rules, but maybe you can decide to re-enter after, but you execute on your rule. If your rule was, I'm going to cut exposure, you cut exposure, and then you can increase exposure again after the fact. Right? But you have to follow your rules, in my opinion. Okay. So this is looking great. Would you say this is a bad chart, Krisha?
No.
Not at all, right?
I mean, we have a breakout and it looks like it's coming down for a retest, maybe.
Yeah. So that's the good thing. That's a good thing about this. But you still have to follow your rules, right? Because you clearly made a rule to cut exposure. So you still have to decide, okay, now AVA's looking good, Algo's looking good, okay? But what do I do? Should I just cut 50-50 from both of them? Or should I just cut one entirely, right? Now I went and looked at the Algo BTC chart. Now my rule stemmed from Bitcoin doing well. So I'm interested in how Algo is doing against BTC and how AVA is doing against BTC. I want to keep these guys if they're doing well against Bitcoin, right? So now I looked at Algo BTC, okay? And you can see that Algo BTC is not on the same juncture that AVAX BTC. I keep saying AVA, guys, apologies, it's AVAX, but just bear with me. So AVAX BTC had broken key levels and is making almost new highs, right? While Algo, Krisha, was seeing resistance at this level I had pre-marked out. Now, I had taken a gamble on Algo and I said, okay, you know what? If this keeps doing well, because at the time, I don't know whether Algo is going to be stronger or AVA is going to be stronger, AVAX, right? All I know is that these two are both looking good. They're both giving me good calls on the dashboard. Now, I want to take a gamble on both of them, or rather a calculated trade. I don't want to use the word gamble, but I'm risk managing it according to my thesis. They're both looking good. This one came up against resistance and did not see the break,
Right.
right? In fact, it started coming down. Okay, now on the USD chart, it's still looking good. But when I drill down, okay, I have to decide, okay, what do I do? How do I manage this? I rather keep the strength, which was AVAX,
Right.
and get rid of algo that was not showing me the same strength as AVAX,
Okay.
right? Now, what inexperienced trader would do is like, okay, you know what? I'd rather get rid of AVAX because it's in profits, and I'll keep algo and wait for it to turn into profits, right? That's not what a trend trader does. As a trend trader, you have to almost do the opposite. Stick with the trend where it's showing strength, and your weakness, get rid of it, right? Get rid of your weakness. Let's look at the daily time frame on algo, and you guys can see that it actually came down on over the dynamic. It did not lose the daily dynamic level just yet. In fact, this is still looking good. If you look at algo USDT, same story over here, right? Holding those key levels, right? But when you compare it to what AVAX did on the daily time frame, you're going to see a different story completely, right? It's actually drifting towards the upside. It's outperforming Bitcoin while Bitcoin is showing strength. So all of this combined together makes me say, hey, you know what? I'd rather hold on to AVAX and see how this trend develops and get rid of my algo, at least for now, right? Wait for the charts to develop, wait for Bitcoin dominance to develop, and then accordingly, we can manage our positions. Now, we go on over to algo on the daily as well. You guys can see that this is not actually looking all that bad at all. It's holding these levels. But when you have your rules set and you have to make a decision like this, it comes down to looking at why you have your rules put in place to begin with, and then saying, okay, I'm going to get rid of my weak assets, okay, and hold on to my my strong assets. So yeah, that's essentially all of it in a nutshell, guys. It boils down to holding on to strength, getting rid of weakness. That is a very, very risk management approach to trading. Okay, so always like Mango, we always focus on risk management first, and one of the ways you can always keep your mind geared towards risk is by saying, I am going to get rid of weakness, I am going to buy strength. I'm going to get rid of weakness, I'm going to buy strength. Now, there's a trade-off to that, right? The trade-off is that there's going to be times where you're going to get an asset dump all the way down. It's looking garbage, and at one point it's going to go so low that the value buyers who know the fundamentals of the coin or whatever asset, right, equity, they're going to come in and say, okay, this is completely undervalued, I'm going to be buying. Okay, you are not going to be buying here because you're looking at that as weakness. You don't care. You're like, yeah, it's undervalued, but this could stay undervalued longer than I can stay liquid, right? And you're not going to buy that because it's opportunity cost. You don't know how long it's going to take. It could take years, it could take months, it could take weeks. You're not trading like gamble. These guys are taking that gamble. So there's a trade-off there, okay? And they will catch this upside. You may get in only somewhere around here. Okay, you're seeing strength, you may get in somewhere around here. They'll catch this spread. Now you got to ask yourself, is that spread worth it? Is that spread worth it? We could have got into Solana at around $5, $7, $8, but we got in after we saw the strength around the $12 mark, $40 mark.
Right.
We kept buying strength, right? Oh yeah, another question I've been getting recently is how do you manage exiting your trades, right? And in fact, go watch the entire Solana series, guys. So let's say you have a trend like Avalanche is now developing for us. Okay, it's going well on the daily time frame. When do you start exiting? Well, you guys watch the Solana series all the way from around, I believe it started its huge run from around 60-70, where we started doing the regular videos on Solana, and went up to like 200ish, right? Now 215, I believe. When do we exit as trend traders? Well, when the trend ends. And in those videos, we specifically said I will be watching the 6 hour. In fact, I think I have Solana somewhere around here. Yeah, I'll be watching it's on the 6 hour. So I'll be watching the 6 hour trend on Solana, right? It was a beautiful trend on the Bitcoin pair and Kusha. You guys can see right over here,
Right.
a beautiful trend. And then it lost a 6 hour dynamic. Very, very simple. You can start exiting. Two ways you can do it. Just exit right over here, exit all of it, or you can start exiting like 50%, 60%, 70%, and when you get this retest, sell into it. All right, now similar story with algo over here. And again, apologies for my thoughts being all over the place, but this is how conversations go. Similar story with algo. When algo had that bounce, and we had this conversation, I believe it was with Samson on the Grove, the C chat. he mentioned the bounce, and I'm like, and he tagged me because he knew I was in the algo trade, and I said I'm selling into this bounce because I was following my rules. When I got that bounce on the algo BTC chart, I believe we can see it on the 4-hour time frame better, right over there. So as soon as I saw this weakness, right, on algo, that was my sign that I'm not liking this as much. And when you got this bounce, I sold into it. Period, right? Got the bounce. I had my rules already in place that I'm going to be exiting out of this trade as soon as I get the opportunity. Now, I didn't want to sell into the daily dynamic, right? Even though I knew we were still on support, and I'll be selling eventually, I wanted to sell the bounce of the daily dynamic. Right? You want to sell the bounce of that support level that you're getting an opportunity to sell into, right? Now, you may not always get that. So this is where it takes a bit of experience. Now, again, guys, don't get me wrong, Algorand is not looking good. I had to make a decision, and this is what that video is about. How you manage your decisions, how you manage your trades, how you manage your exposure. And it boils down to this very simple idea. You hold on to strength, you sell weakness. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Kusha, any questions?
No, I think it was a pretty simple idea. It's just simple in hindsight, I guess,
Yeah.
right? But to execute when your emotions are at play, it's not as straightforward. So it's cool that you brought this up to everyone's attention.
It's
So,
a
yeah.
different kind of video. I know not everyone's gonna like it. People are gonna be like, damn, this guy's just rambling on. Where's the targets? Give me targets. But guys, how many of you guys knew the targets for Solana, right? I gave you guys the key psychological levels. How did it matter to many of you? It did not matter much at all because you couldn't execute on the trade. Knowing how to execute the trade, knowing how to manage the trade, all of this comes down to understanding these ideas, right? Building that foundation as a trader, building that holistic, being able to step back and looking at the big picture, which is why I advocate the high time frames. And understanding trade management is more important than understanding targets. Like, I knew there were key levels for Solana while it was rising. I didn't fixate on them. I just played the trend. I played the core rules of my trade management. Now I'm going to play the trend. I don't know how this is how long this is going to go. This could go to 500 for all I know. We don't know, right? The markets are going to go higher than you ever think. The markets will go lower than you ever think. I'm going to be part of that high move. And if I'm in a short trade, I want to be part of as low as it can go. When the trend breaks, I'm out of the trade, right? We don't know. We just keep it simple. We keep it mango. We keep it stress-free. We keep it easy. We keep it breezy. With that, my name is Sean Dexter.
And my name is Krisha.
We'll see you guys in the next one.